Today is Mission Sunday. For those that don't know me, my name is Nathan. I have the privilege of serving as the lead pastor here at Pathway Church. And today's a special Sunday that we have been doing the last number of years, one Sunday in November. And it's a Sunday where instead of you hearing from me, preaching, et cetera, we're actually going to be hearing from our mission partners and Christian workers in our community and who are working around the world. And it is so important for us to hear from them and to hear what they are doing. Just wanted to open up with a few words, and then I'll pass it off to our guests for today. In the early years of Pathway Church, we made a strategic decision, and that decision was that our mission as a church, as a community, was going to be reach people far from God and to help them become devoted followers of Jesus. In other words, the core identity for us as a church would be that we are a gospel-sharing and disciple-making organization. That's what we do. That's our primary focus. And I believe that that's scriptural and that's what the church is supposed to do. But you might say, well, that's great, Nathan, but what about hungry people? That's great, Nathan, but what about homelessness? Well, that's great that we're making disciples, but what about unwed mothers who are pregnant? What about disadvantaged youth in our community? What about, and of course, we have a scriptural mandate to help and support and to do all of those things. You guys with me? One of the decisions we made early on, though, is as we started the church, we thought to ourselves, well, we could try to open up a soup kitchen. We could try to do a youth ministry downtown. We could try to put a dent in these different issues. But then as we looked around, we recognized that there were already people and organizations who are hard at work with expertise, with heart, with passion, with their organizations, doing these very same things. And we decided at the outset, like, what would it look like for us as a church to come alongside, to support, right? To send money, to send prayers, and to send volunteers, to put wind in the sails of organizations that are doing that so that we could partner with them. And that's what today is all about, sharing with you some of the stories of our partners. One passage of scripture, I'm a pastor, I couldn't help it. Matthew 5 verse 14 says this, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but they put it on a stand. And it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others." Jesus says that as his followers, we're to be lights in the world. Now, it sounds like if we're a light in a dark place, that we're drawing all the attention to ourselves. And let me assure you that today, Mission Sunday is not about us. Even though there's a lot to celebrate, we're making a difference and we're helping. But this is actually not all about us. Jesus thankfully continues and he says this, "So let your light shine before others, that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." That the glory and the celebration is all aimed at our Father in heaven who makes it all possible. And so we're going to hear some stories today of how our church is making a difference through these organizations in supporting of them. And I decided a long time ago that I was perfectly happy with Pathway Church being in the shadows and supporting other organizations and helping them win, as long as the gospel is going forward and our God is getting the glory. One quick story, in the first year of our church, we were a very brand new church, and in the first full year, our budget for the year was $70,000. Which might sound like a lot, but it's not for an organization. We have rent and bills and all that stuff. We had no staff, zero, not even a part-time staff member. And in that first year, we decided we were going to take the first 10% of every dollar donated to this organization, and we were going to send it out to other great organizations. In that first year, we took on a nurse, a full-time nurse in Garissa, Kenya, which we have continued to support. You'll see that later in a video for the last 13 years. But over the years, as our budget has increased and as giving has increased here, we've been able to add on so many more partners and support so many great organizations. In fact, this year, we will give more money away to our partners than our entire revenue for the first year, which is incredible. And that's a testament to all of you who give generously. Yeah. So, last thing I want to say before we invite up our presenters for today is simply this, that while, yes, when you give to this church, the first 10% is going out to many of these organizations in financial support, I want this to be more. For us being for Peterborough, for us being for our community, is more than just sending money. We truly want to partner with these individuals who you're going to hear from. And so that means that I would hope that as we progress forward, that people from Pathway are volunteering with these people, getting on their boards, helping in various different ways, so that it's not just a financial donation, but it's true partnership. And that's our goal. And so at the end of the service, we're going to try, we have lots of presenters. I'll ask them to try to stick to 4 or 5 minutes so that we can finish at the right time, and so that all of you have a chance to talk to them. They have booths set up the back. It's a great opportunity to ask questions and find out how you can support them and partner with them. So with all that being said, I'm going to invite our, let me see what we got here. Number one, so we have Scott Cooper and Randy. These are our newest partners. And so Scott Cooper's been working with the homeless in our community, and Randy's been working with the newcomers in our city. And so I'll invite Scott to come up as his video plays. I'll give you a little bit of a glimpse into his world.
Morning, Pathway Church. Scott Cooper here from Street Level Advocacy, checking in with you. We're down here at Tent City. Behind me you can see our trucks, and there's Gary back there serving coffee, and Leanne's chatting with a few friends of ours. Just wanted to kind of show you the center of Tent City and the way folks are having to live down here. We are coming down 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, and we have coffee and waters and donated clothing and sandwiches. Leanne's going to tell you a little bit more about the Loaves of Love program in just a minute or so, but we have folks that are making us sandwiches so that we have 6 to 8 loaves of sandwiches a day that we're able to come and provide for these folks. Changes are coming up very quickly. There's 50 sleeping cabins that have arrived in the parking lot across from here, and the word is that next week they will begin to move residents from here, 50 lucky residents, into those warm steel sleeping cabins. There's power in them, there's heat, there's hydro, there's air conditioning even. What we're concerned about will be the other 30 or so folks that are left here in the parking lot. They'll be asked to move. And so we are quite aware that we might be looking in ravines and behind Walmart and behind Costco and different places that we might find folks. We will make it our ambition to go and find them and continue to provide food and clothing for them too. So we just wanted to show you here where we minister. Of course, it's a friendship situation where we build trust and relationship, and because we've been down here every day for many months, there's natural conversations that can occur, and folks share their problems and their difficulties, and we have the opportunity to pray, to invite God into the midst, and to cause them to look to the Lord. So those are our opportunities. We take them as often as we can, and we're believing for even bigger and greater things for the sake of the kingdom in the future. But please pray for Street Level Advocacy and for Tent City and for these friends of ours that Jesus loves. God bless you. Morning, Pathway. It's a pleasure to be here, and I just want to say a big thank you to you folks and to Pastor Nathan for taking us on as one of your monthly sponsors for reaching this city. And when I started 2 years ago, I was one guy walking around with a backpack. I just kind of wandered around asking the Holy Spirit, where am I supposed to go? Who am I supposed to talk to? Today we have, as I said, five days a week. We are down there with 3 to 5 volunteers every day. We have a rotation of 10 volunteers that help us through the week, every week. And one of them is your own Kathy Cutt, who comes and helps us, and we just appreciate her so much. And I was sitting down and going back over the year, there have been 11 Pathway people that have come to the parking lot to help us over this last year, not including a big portion of your youth group that came last October. So Pathway's heavily invested in the streets of Peterborough, and I thank you for that investment. We have now, I've become a full-time missionary with our movement, the Pentecostal Assemblies of Canada, and so I'm full-time down there, and then we have actually a Bible college student who did her internship with me and then has started part-time as another missionary, and she's 3 days a week. Her name is Leanne Davidson. She can't be here today. She was hoping to be. But she started a little program called Loaves of Love. And in that ministry, we have 5 area churches that make us sandwiches every week. We have over 40 loaves of sandwiches that are made on a weekly basis so that we are equipped with sandwiches, coffee, water, and donated clothing every time we come. We always bring gifts. And that's the key to the hearts. You need to read the parable of the shrewd manager, what Jesus told. We give gifts unashamedly, and we build a relationship, and we linger down there with intent. So it's been awesome to have Leanne. Because she's come on, she covers Thursdays for me, and I've been able to go Thursday mornings at 7 o'clock to the morning briefings with the police, and I am a volunteer police chaplain, so I have my own cute little bulletproof vest, and everything says chaplain on it, and I go to their morning briefing and then accompany a different officer every week so that I can get to know the team. We have an incredible team of officers. A few of them go to this church. They're tremendous with our downtown people, and those two worlds, believe it or not, do collide. Sometimes I do meet people that I know from Tent City when we're in the cruiser responding to calls. So I'm doing that every week and enjoying both of those opportunities that I have because of the sport. And so I just wanted to say a big thank you to you. We're hoping to start to have a downtown drop-in center where we could have a laundry machine and coffee for folks and play The Chosen in the corner, have the church engage with people. Please pray for us that we could find that location, and just continue to pray for us. Thank you for your support. A quick story. This Friday, I was in the parking lot. Somebody gave us a donation of a bunch of apples, and there was a girl in her 30s who'd been on the street for a long time, and she was hanging around, and I said, "You want an apple?" And she goes, "I love apples, but I can't. A lot of them have really bad teeth because of the drugs." And she said, "I need them cut up." I said, "Well, I'll cut one up." I had my knife, and I started cutting one up. And she said, "You know, my grandma used to take the skin off for me." And I said, "Well, I'm not your grandma," and we were teasing back and forth. And then as we're talking, and we just linger and chat, and I peeled the skin off the one for her, and I handed it to her, and I said, "In memory of Grammy." And I kind of said it with a little bit of a grin. She just broke down and began to cry, crocodile tears, and I just kind of was able to pull her into my chest, and I said, "Jesus loves you." I don't know what was going on there, but she said, "Thank you so much for caring," because I peeled an apple. We are Jesus 10 minutes at a time. We take those opportunities to show forth the love of Christ. Thank you for equipping us and enable us to be down there. God bless you.
Hello everyone, I'm Rani Ibrahim, the leader of Newcomers Mission. If you notice from my last name, Ibrahim, which means Abraham, and that's mean my great father was a prophet Abraham. I'm joking, don't believe me. So the Newcomers Mission has many programs, social programs and spiritual programs. The social programs are prayer meeting, worship meeting, Tim Hortons program, visitation program, where I meet newcomers and share in my faith with them and listen to their problems. And the social programs are gatherings at the Bridge Youth Center for families, youth, children, and Canadian Citizenship Test Workshop Series, English classes, and also we are doing a private sponsorships group, translation programs, and we are helping newcomers to find housings and to find jobs. And God has blessed us to know some landlords, and last a few months we were able to help more than 10 families to find housings. Usually they ask for credit history, but they don't do that because I know them and they know me. And I think the best way to talk more about the ministry is showing some pictures, and I'm going to talk for every picture. In this picture you will see we are helping some newcomers with the process of becoming Canadian citizen. and we help them to prepare to do the Canadian citizenship test, and with their applications when they applying for the Canadian citizenship, and also when they are doing their ceremony. This kind of ceremony has been made online, as you see. Can we show the next picture? This is the same family that we were helping to do their ceremony. Can I have the next picture, please? And this, when we visit some newcomers family, and in the picture you will see my mother. She's doing volunteer work with our ministry. Some newcomers family, they have a new babies. Can I see the, okay, and this also when me and my mom, we were visiting some newcomers family. In this family, they asked for our help to sponsor their son to come from Turkey through private sponsorships groups. And thanks for God, we did everything, and he will be coming soon. As you notice from the picture, you will see the Middle Eastern food. If that will make you hungry, sorry about that. Okay. And also, as I mentioned, we help newcomers in different ways with translation programs where I go with the newcomers when they have a medical appointment, for example. And the Syrian man, he went to a hearing clinic and he asked my help because he doesn't speak English. They put him in isolate rooms and I was helping there. The next picture, please. And this, the Christmas market that's happened last Christmas at the Bridge Youth Center. Jennifer Gloucester has said that we are doing Christmas market if you have some newcomers family want to sell something, and I can give you some tables. So I brought some Syrian family and Ukrainian family. You will see food too, and I'm sorry about that too. So, and this family, they are two families. They were trying to collect some money to sponsor their relatives to come to Canada through private sponsorships group, through selling this kind of food, which is so delicious. And this another family that we helped to come to Canada through private sponsorships groups. There's a picture at the airport. Can I have the next picture, please? And then when me and my mom, we met with them at Tim Hortons. I met with many newcomers at Tim Hortons. Actually, Tim Hortons is, you can say it's my office. The next picture, please. And we did Right for Refuge event. It is like a fundraising event to support the ministry because we are looking for financial support. And this picture from this event, we have many newcomers from different countries to help me as a volunteer from Syria, Ukraine, and Afghanistan. And we have also different believers from different churches. They come to participate in this event too. And this is my volunteering team. You see there are Syrians and Ukrainian. Can I see the next picture? And as you know, we have children. They always want to help. So they were my volunteering too. And this picture actually can explain a lot of some of our programs. This picture from a small prior meeting in the worship meeting. There are some newcomers, they used to attend this meeting, and some of them, they were attending this meeting for the first time. In this picture, you will see two families has been sponsored through private sponsorships groups, and one individual, also we helped to sponsor him. We sponsored many, but in this picture only showing two families and one person. And also in this picture, you will see 4 people that we helped to find a job. Actually, we helped many, but many of them to find a job, but in this picture, you will see only 4. And also in this picture, you will see 2 families that we help to find housings. When I say helping to find housings, we helping to find houses with a landlord. It's like company, for example. They don't ask for credit history or co-signer because they know us. And in this picture also, you will see many newcomers, some of them from Iraq, from Syria, from Ukraine, from Turkey, from Iran. The girl from Iran, she get baptized last year. And also from Afghanistan. And some of them also, they used to attend our gathering programs. The next picture. And this is the last picture. This is one of our gatherings that we do at the Bridge Youth Center. This is a new Syrians arrival family to our city. And I asked a team from Peterborough Social Services Ontario Works to come and give us presentation. And they came on Saturday, which is a weekend. Thanks for God, they accept. They were okay to work on the weekend. And as you see, many families that benefit from this presentation. We have many wonderful stories from the ministry. One of them, as example, they are a Syrian man. He was in the picture. His uncle is imam at the mosque, and he was asking him a lot of questions, and the answer that he used to get don't make sense for him. And he only find his answer in Christianity. So I meet with him every week, and every time I meet with him, he have very great questions. And he has a faith in Christ, but in the future he will have enough encouragement to announce him to his family and to his community. He came with me to Pathway Church last Sunday, and I introduced him to Pastor Nathan. And we have a many wonderful story. If you would like to know more stories, or if you would like to support the ministry, please feel free to communicate with Pathway Church. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate hearing that. You know, these are two ministries that we can have an impact in an area, a demographic in our community that may not be as easy for us to touch. And so seeing them there, being able to support is so great. Next, we're going to have a video about the nurse and the mission in Africa that we've been supporting for 13 years. And then following up with that, we'll hear from Tony Jones and Carl from Haiti and Kids Against Hunger. So roll that.
One of the big projects for close to 20 years, we started a project in Kenya, Garissa, and then about 5 years after we started the first project, we started the hospital, started small, a lot of threats, and then eventually the local leader said, we will be your fence, because they saw we were there to serve their people fighting real poverty and real sickness with very little resources. And I'll never forget the sadness in the eyes of those mothers as they waited in the sun. We had some shade for them to get in to see our nurse. And thank God we have others that stand with us. We have another church that stands with us to pay for the nurse.
Friends was established in 1998 to encourage folks with a hand-up mandate. When a German doctor said, I will volunteer and bring medicine for 5,000 lepers in Africa, but someone has to build us a clinic, Friends built that clinic. And it's now a school, and it's sustainable. Friends has educated thousands of the poorest, but then they have knowledge so they can make their way in this world without support. That's sustainable. However, the nurse that you, Pathway, supports and the Friends Clinic in Garissa is not sustainable. A sick child, a poor mother, they have so little. And then they come looking for help. And we're there, you're there to help them. But often, just like the Good Samaritan, we have to pay the bill. This clinic is in a very dangerous region. Our staff are risking their lives. The local Muslim leaders so appreciate us that they have said, we will be your fence, which means we're here to protect you. So Pathway, thanks for being a friend.
Next, we'll hear from Tony Jones.
Thank God for the leadership here at Pathway and for all of you. I am so blessed to be standing up here along with the others because we get to be on the receiving end of your blessings. And I just wish I could take you all to Haiti sometime just to show you what you're doing with your prayers and your support. And before I begin, I have a verse here. I'd just like to read a verse out of Isaiah 52, because this basically tells us what I'm doing over there in Haiti. And it says, how beautiful on the mountain are the feet of those who bring good news. And that is what we do in the mountains of Haiti. We bring good news. Okay, sister, could we start with a picture quickly? Well, there's Haiti. I thought I had it marked where I was, but I'm right in there somewhere. We're in the mountain region there. And could you go to the very last slide? Okay, so what I want to let you know, for the last 10 years, you've supported a school in the mountains, actually one of our furthest regions. And there's Brutus with the jacket on down, and that's the teachers you've been supporting for about 10 years. And the how we support them is Of course, through monthly, we pay their wages. But what I do with the schools is we will not pay the teachers unless they allow us to bring the gospel into the school. 95% of the people in the mountains practice voodoo, and they can't read or write. So, of course, when we say we'll pay your teachers, but we got to bring you the gospel, they're like, no problem, you're paying us. Average teacher up there, they haven't been paid in months. The mountain people are so dirt poor. So what happens, we bring the gospel into the schools. These children go home to their voodoo parents. They're talking about this Jesus, and these parents are like, what are they teaching at this school? Next thing you know, the parents are coming in the morning hearing children's stories, and you would not believe the move of God in these communities. So when Nate and them first came, they had a church of about 20 people. There's 200 there now, and literally every child, 250 of the 300 families have come to the Lord. What a move of God. It's unbelievable. Okay, so these are the guys that should be up here. I want you to pray for Franz on the left. Let's go left to right. There's Franz, Edward, Enoch, and Jordani. These are mountain guys that God has brought to me. And there's another picture, sister. So while we're up in the mountains doing the children's programs to these 8-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, all the teenagers started coming around because we feed them. They could smell the food. All of a sudden, we've got 17-year-old, 18-year-old teenagers sitting in on these Bible stories. So what I had to do was bring these guys left to right, John Roger, Jean-Luc Robinson, and Edward at the back. And we've brought them aboard, and they're our teenage ministry. And we're talking to the teenagers, and Lord is moving there. We have a prison ministry. I mean, I can go on and on. This is what the prisoners look like when we go there. We've had almost 300 prisoners die of starvation since January in Haiti. Right now, the country, it's just in total disarray. But what we do is, here they are, we feed them 7 days a week, but we give them the gospel first. That was the deal. If I feed them, you got to allow us to bring the gospel. They're a captive audience. They can't go anywhere. We give them the word. You would not believe the move of God in this prison. It's unreal. Keep going, please. This is little Benelson about our kids' programs. Now, in Haiti right now, gangs control almost half of the country, if not more. What they'll do is they'll move into an area and they'll go to the people and say, we want your house. And if you don't move, they kill you. Well, that's what happened to Benelson's mom and dad. They killed them right in front of this little boy. Now, 80% of the people in town are from the mountains. So what happened was Benelson was brought back to his mountain community because his mom and dad were killed. That just so happened to be close to one of our kids' programs. And our little children were coming on a Saturday, and they told Edward, our teacher, oh, this little boy, he's crying all the time. He won't stop crying. He's new. Can we bring him? And Edward said, bring him. So they brought this little boy, and Edward said he wouldn't stop crying. But then he heard about the love of Jesus. And the third time they brought him, he gave his life to the Lord. And Edward said, Tony, he didn't ask him to come into his life. He begged him to come into his life. That little kid is such a ray of hope now. He is the light of our program. He's the first one there and the last one to leave. And we were able to get him clothes, and we helped support the family that looks after him. Unbelievable move of God. We're up in one area. I'm up there. That takes to get there, it takes 12 hours. But because of you brothers and sisters, we were able to buy a quad. We can get there in 7 hours now. And when I get there, they're always feeding me this mountain coffee. Let me tell you, that would take the paint off a barn, this coffee, if you know what I mean. So I need something to soak it up. Well, oh, Brother Tony, would you like some bread? And I'm like, the teeth are sitting on the bottom of the cup. I'm like, please, Madeline, bring us some bread. Hour and a half later, the ladies come back with 6 little breads, and I'm like, an hour and a half, they had to go to another mountain area to get bread. What do? We build a bakery. We gave them a bakery, and here we are discipling them. We always give them Christ first. Christ has got to be in the center of everything we do. And so we give them the gospel. Of course, man can't live on bread alone, right? They almost do there, though. And we were able to bring the gospel to this area. Unbelievable move of God through that bakery. All right, so faith comes by hearing. go and make disciples, as Matthew says. So what we're doing is we're starting a discipleship program. These are the first 3 classes. These are the mountain leaders that we are bringing up. And I'm getting too old to ride these donkeys. So we're training and equipping them so they can go back and they'll give the gospel to their remote communities. It's awesome. That's it. All right. So brothers and sisters, like I said, I just wish I could take you there. But I want to thank you for your prayers and support and all you do. And God is building this church one soul at a time. Now you're going to hear from Carl, because you know what? They got to be alive to hear the word, and Carl helps feed them. So thank you so much. I love yous, and thank you for your prayers and support.
You're a tough act to follow, Tony. Our charity exists primarily because of people like Scott and Tony, who are the missionaries that are in the field. And if you spend a day with them, you just get to appreciate how special these people are. They certainly put God first, and I'm just honored to be a part of helping them where we can. My name's Carl Nabine. I'm the president and founder of Kids Against Hunger Canada. Our mission is to feed God's starving children, and I just want to give a big thank you to Pathway, who's been instrumental in our success and growth since about 2011. And Pastors Nathan and Todd Cook have both served on our board for about 10 years and helping us to grow. And Nathan and I both went to Haiti with Tony and got a real eye-opening. It just makes me my love and appreciation for the hard work that they do. And it's amazing how strong and powerful Satan is, but when you go there, it's nothing for God. Just a breath of from him can destroy anything and bring back the good in this world. So we have a food packet that it contains 4 ingredients, and I believe it's God anointed. It comes in a triple ply plastic bag that will resist rodents. It won't explode in the airplanes. It won't break if you throw it around. And it has rice, which is eaten by all cultures in the world. It has dehydrated vegetables, and if for no other reason, Mom said eat your vegetables. It has textured soy, which is 3 times the protein of meat, making it completely vegan. And it's fortified with 8 vitamins and minerals. And then it also has a seasoning that's a vegetable seasoning. And it was produced by the giants in the food industry, and it has 21 different vitamins and minerals that are targeted to alleviate starvation-related diseases such as spina bifida and blindness. You boil it in water for 20 minutes, and it'll feed 6 children, but after 20 minutes, even if the water's slightly contaminated, it'll be potable. So it's God anointed all around. People like Tony, they have feeding programs. He reads them the word. They get fed spiritually. Our goal was to have about 70% of our food go internationally as aid and 30% in Canada. But unfortunately, the need in Canada has been greater, and about 42%, if you can put up the chart, has stayed in Canada. But we have 1.8 million meals basically have gone to British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and Nunavut. Meals to Africa have gone to Angola, Burkina Faso, Ghana, Kenya, Liberia, Malawi, Sierra Leone, Tanzania, and Uganda. In the Caribbean, we've shipped food to Cuba, Dominica, Haiti, Jamaica, Republic of Dominica. Central America, we've gotten food to El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. In South America, we've sent food to Peru, and we've also been able to get food to Ukraine, Asia Pacific, Sri Lanka, and the Philippines. And recently, if you can show the next screen, this just came in. It's Dr. Simone. He's out of Toronto, and he just recently sent this to us, and he takes our food and distributes it. And I'll just read you a short little thing that he sent here. October 23rd, dear good people of Canada, we've just returned from Africa. We saw all your gifts arriving safely. In one area, we found 50 malnourished children. The children come to the local hospital. The families are very poor and they have to provide their own food. For this reason, I'm going back on an emergency basis in November to bring some money to the matron Josephine who can help these people. Please know that your help is so precious. God bless you all. Andrew Simone. And COVID has been a real obstacle out there, and there was a point we thought, like, these are starving children, and there's a COVID and we can't pack, and prayed over it, and then we found out that we're considered an essential service as God would have it, and so we were able to pack. The problem is that we couldn't, with social distancing and whatnot, there were some obstacles, but we were able to do it. And since then, we've started to recover, and we're actually going to pack about 400,000 meals this year, which is pretty amazing. In our peak before COVID, we're about 500,000, but we've been hit with a double whammy with inflation, costs of transportation almost doubling, but then there's also the other side, everybody else is hurting, so donations are that much more scarce. So to be getting back to 400,000, we're really happy. We've packaged 4.2 million meals to date, and that's just been amazing. And I just want to say, with Pathway, in last year, your food went to Cuba, which was the first time we got into Cuba, and the government makes it so hard to get it in there, and it sat at the docks for about 6 weeks, and with lots of prayer, it got into where it was needed. And we also recently got food to Levi Beardy, and he got it to 6 First Nation reserves in Northern Ontario that we couldn't get to otherwise. We also been able to get some food into Ukraine as well. So I just want to say how appreciative we are for Pathway's ongoing support and caring for the least of these, the less fortunate. And if you want to see the face of Jesus, we're reminded in Matthew 25, verse 40, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. And I just thank you so much.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks, Tony. We have 3 more short presentations. The next one we're going to hear from is Kawartha Food Share. Unfortunately, they were not able to be here in person today, so they sent a video. For those of you who don't know, Kawartha Food Share is a large warehouse that provides food for almost every different distribution, food banks, all of those things. And so we decided many years ago to support them financially each month. And we want to be part of the solution, making sure that people have food and nutrition in our community. And so we'll hear a quick video from Kawartha Food Share, and then we'll have Helen DeLuna and Youth Unlimited. So.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashley. I'm the general manager here at Kawartha Food Share. For those of you that don't know, Kawartha Food Share is a food distribution center here in Peterborough. We service Peterborough and County with emergency food support for anyone that's in need. So we do this by sending food orders out through member agencies. We have 37 member agencies. Those are composed of different food banks, meal programs, food cupboards, local shelters, essentially anywhere where someone can access emergency food in the city or county. That food comes from our warehouse. And we basically exist because there's only so many resources out there for organizations to access, only so many donors, only so many grocery stores, only so many corporations willing to donate product. And so by them donating it all here, we can fair share it out to everyone based on the number of people that they're feeding to ensure that everyone has an adequate amount of food. So times have really been tough the last couple of years for everyone. As you know, the cost of living is extremely high. Lack of affordable housing is a huge issue in our city. And numbers at the food banks are continuing to rise because of this. Pre-pandemic, we were feeding about anywhere from 7,500 to 9,000 people a month at our agencies. And now it's not a surprise at all to see about 15,000 people a month using our services. And on top of the food banks and meal programs, we also support all 51 local schools for breakfast and nutrition programs. So those programs are feeding 17,000 kids a day. So very staggering numbers for a community our size. And we really, appreciate the support of Pathway, whether that's your monetary support each month, volunteering in our warehouse or volunteering at our food drives. Many of you have volunteered, especially at our Porch Pirates food drive over the last couple of years, and we're just so appreciative of that. We run a very small group, a small organization here in terms of staffing. So we have 2 full-time and 3 part-time staff, and the rest of the work here is done by volunteers. So we see anywhere from 100 volunteers a week, and we have about 400 volunteers in our database that all have various jobs that, really make Kawartha Food Share what it is. And we're just so fortunate to live in a community where people want to give back and want to help each other. And we really wouldn't be here without the volunteer support. So I really just wanted to take this time to thank you for all that you do, not just for us, but for many organizations in our community that really, really appreciate your support. And if anyone is ever interested in lending a helping hand, we can definitely put you to work. Please just contact me at any time, and we'd be happy to chat and find a position that is the best fit for you. So thank you on behalf of all of our staff and board of directors for all that you do for us. We couldn't be more thankful, and thank you for the opportunity to have me speak today.
Next we have Helen Luna.
I'll be quick. All right, good morning. So I'm Helen. I'm the Executive Director of the Peterborough Pregnancy Support Services. So we've been here for since 1985, so that's 38 years. I just would like to give you some stats because my husband loves his stats. So because stats apparently is just common sense, and I don't have that, according to him. But anyway, 50% of pregnancies are unplanned, and about 54 have religious affiliation, as against 38 who doesn't have a religious affiliation. So that is very significant. Now, what are our services? I won't go through all the services, but we just would like to let you know that we are a pregnancy care clinic since 2017. So we have nurses on staff, and a medical director, who is also my husband, is the medical director of our clinic. So what we do is we have medical grade pregnancy tests given by our nurses, and STI testing. If you want to know more about STI testing, we have our booth there. What I'd like to emphasize today is our post-abortion services, which is really the key to what we do, because there are clients who have abortions, and that is a given. I have personally seen various women and men suffer through that, with abortions. But on the other hand, we also have parenting classes, and parenting classes includes Bible lessons, and they are available online. And so there are actually 10 clients who are doing that right now, or have done it. So I just would like for you to know that we are doing all the support that we are giving them. Now I just would like to introduce our team to you, because I think it is important. I am just a quarter of the team, but that is our team. Our nurse, we have another nurse, but go figure, she's actually on maternity leave. And then our board of directors, and I think you're familiar with Susan, who attends here. Susan, with her permission, is stepping down this year. So we need another board of director. And David Rivers would really like a man to be with us. So we are not a standalone ministry. We need support. Our logo represents, if you can just, the next slide. These are the 4 pillars: people, community, working together, and love. It is especially really important for us to love, the love portion of it, because we give our clients unconditional love. Because we love them because we were first loved, and that is in 1 John 4:9. So thank you so much for your attention. And if you have any questions, I'll just be there. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Helen. I am the last act, so you guys get to leave potentially after this. So, I am Josh Lott, and I am with Peterborough Youth Unlimited, which is an organization that is a part of Kawartha Youth for Christ. And so I'm here to share with you about the strategic partnership that you guys have with us and what we are doing on the ground level, connecting with youth in our communities, in communities not only in communities within Peterborough, but also within Lakefield and other areas throughout the Kawarthas. So just so you know, when you guys go back to the back there, we have Lakefield Youth Unlimited over there. And Lakefield Youth Unlimited, their satellite director is Chris Jones, who attends this church. And so if you want to learn more about what Lakefield is up to, he is an expert on that. And so I encourage you to go back and talk to him. But on our booth on the other side, they for some reason decided to separate us. I don't know why. On the other side, we have information on our programs and what's happening and going on within our organization. And I just want to highlight a couple of things in our organization. So we currently have 2 drop-in centers that we run as missional hubs for those communities. And part of our desire as a missional hub is we want to engage within the community in their context in the hopes of sharing the gospel with them, but also caring for those people, those youth, and those young families holistically. And so the locations of our 2 centers, one is in the downtown core, 256 Brock Street. It's been there a long time. It was actually Tim Coles that started the drop-in center, and he also attends this church here. And so if you want to know more about that history, you can talk to him. And then recently we started a newer center, missional hub called The Hub, interesting enough, The Hub. And it is, the goal of that is to be connecting with the Tallwood community. And so our Cephas Church, Cephas Christian Reformed Church, actually gave us a building that we can use as a hub for connecting with young families and use it as a drop-in center. Currently, right now, I have the privilege of getting to lead and to work with Justin Dracup, who is our outreach worker, and I would say he's more like a community connector in that community, because he has done an amazing job at not only connecting with families and individuals and children and running programs for children, but also what we've realized since coming into that community is how disconnected people were coming out of COVID. And Justin and his team, volunteer team, has done an amazing job at bringing community together through various programs and even just their children's programs, bringing families together and creating and developing a strong sense of community with the gospel being shared at the very root of that. And so if you want to learn more about that, I encourage you to talk to Justin. He is at the back. But there's one thing that I want to highlight as we close off is Youth for Christ has this vision mission statement called that Tim literally makes us repeat all the time, and I have it literally ingrained in my brain right now. But it's such a great statement, and the statement is that we desire, as an organization, as Youth for Christ Canada chapters all across Canada, we desire to see every young person living fully in Christ. And one of the things that I want to highlight in that statement, and that I think is so key to what we're doing here and what you guys are pouring into as we strategically partner together, Pathway and Youth for Christ in this area, is this fully part. We understand, and you guys sitting here understand, that the Christian journey doesn't end with this decision to follow Jesus. But there's so much more of an experience after that. And it's this disciple making. As we're following Jesus, we are also learning to live fully in a relationship with him and what that looks like, because Jesus is the model of that. And in turn, we are also sharing and expressing this and seeing disciples that make disciples that make disciples. And this is disciple-making culture that we desire to create. And so there was this young man, and this one story really highlights the root of that. There was this young man over a year ago that entered into our drop-in program that, like most of the youth we connect with, was deeply struggling with coming from a broken family, has been struggling with a lot of health issues and feeling very disconnected, lost, and not knowing where he's going. Through that, our volunteers and me and a couple of our other staff connected with him. And then in one of our programs, he approached me and pulled me off to the side. He said, "Josh, I hear you guys talking about Jesus, and I'm seeing just something different about you guys. I want to know more about him. I want to know more about what it means to follow him." That began a journey over this time last year, began a journey of us working and meeting with him, meeting him where he's at, allowing him to ask questions, and in turn, him choosing to follow Jesus. But like I said, it just doesn't stop there. That fullness in his life began to spew out of his relationship with Jesus. In turn, he was taking steps of seeking out community, even outside of us, into landing in a church and a community where he was also supported, but also encouraged him, finding a young adults community that he could be a part of, and creating a great community of friends that he could walk and journey with in this faith journey. And then in this picture behind me, this happened 2 weeks ago. He had approached me a couple months before this picture was taken. He said, "I've heard about baptism as I've been reading through God's word, and I want to do this." And I'm like, "Okay, that's amazing. Let's try and plan it at your church and get you, we can connect with you and make sure that you understand and know what it is, and get the pastor to do that with you." And he stopped me and he's like, "Actually, I want to do it with a greater purpose. I want people to know, people that I'm close with. I want this to be something that shows them what it means to follow Jesus." And so he's like, "I want to do it at the very same drop-in program where I began to discover who Jesus was." He's like, "I want my friends and the people I connect with to know why I'm doing this and the very same hope that they can have." He's like, and so we got to baptize him a couple weeks ago in our drop-in center. And there was a bunch of youth that were like, "Why in the world is this bathtub full of water in the middle of our drop-in center?" And they witnessed what had happened. They witnessed him sharing his story and his experience and how God had transformed his life and how he's living fully in pursuit of him. Out of that, 2 students had approached him wanting to know more. 2 people that, if he didn't do that in front of them and was intentional with that, wouldn't understand the hope that they can have in Jesus. This youth living fully in Christ is now discipling 2 students that are he's maybe just 1 year older than them, intentionally, and sharing the gospel with them, because now they also want to be baptized too, and they want to know what it means to fully follow him. And this is a disciple-making culture that we are seeing in Youth for Christ. And thank you so much for your strategic partnership in journeying with us through this, as we see youth throughout all of Peterborough, Lakefield, the Kawarthas, all of Canada, experiencing what it means to fully live in a relationship with him. So thank you.
Well, that's it for the presentations today, although there are a number that we didn't even have time to have them up on the stage. We have Chris Jones, as was mentioned, Lakefield Youth Unlimited, and they're at the back, so please make sure to stop and hear about what they're doing. Also, we have InterVarsity, Emily is here. Here's Emily. So Emily will be back there. So for those of you who are at Trent or those of you young adults that are interested in connecting with InterVarsity, please stop by and see her as well. So what I wanted to do as we close is I want to invite you to stand. We're just going to pray for these individuals and organizations. And of course, we can continue to pray for them in the weeks and months ahead, but I think it's just so important for us as a church to stand with them. So Heavenly Father, we come together as a church family. God, we thank you for all that you are doing through these organizations and individuals. God, it's our desire that we could partner with them. It's our desire to support them. And so, God, we pray today that you would help them to raise the resources that they need, that we could be part of that you would bring them the volunteers and the wisdom that they need to continue these ministries. Lord, help us as a church to continue to breathe life and to support these incredible organizations. And God, all of it, we pray, would be for your glory and the good of your people. And we just ask for your hand to be upon these organizations and individuals. And we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.